Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. Today's random craft session is inspired by somebody that I also follow on Instagram. She makes these wonderful abstract backgrounds. Really, each piece is a wonderful masterpiece in itself. So it's going to be very abstract, using basic shapes, bits and bobs of pieces of paper, and then we make a beautiful artwork with that. So let's dive right into it. I've got a selection of papers here. You can see there was a little incident with with paint, but it's okay, the paper is still usable. And I've got all kinds of bits and bobs here. Strips of paper, time to work off the scrap box. Now, I wanted to stay with blues and greens and yellows, but I see there's a bit of purple in there and a few others. I'm going to use plain old copy paper as the base, and then we're going to add these pieces on top. Now, because of this paper, I'm just going to move this one out of the way, just so that I can have a few wider strips of yellow cardstock. This is a little bit harder. That is just normal paper. A bit thicker than normal copy paper. So I just want to just trim a piece off so that I have a bit of wider paper to work with. And I know I'm out of focus or out of your view at the bottom here, but you can see I'm just doing it on a short side, right down about 5 centimeters across. And then this might be used for some circles. Just close this before we have another incident. Not so long ago we had one where I sliced my thumb on camera. So we've got a blank canvas. I hope you can see that. So let's see, where will we start? We need a glue stick. Of course we need a glue stick. We always need glue. Those are the basics. Glue, whether it's liquid glue or a glue stick, I use both for different things. When I need a little bit of wiggle space, I will use the liquid glue. Of course, that is much stronger than a glue stick. So if I do a cover, I will use liquid glue. If I want a good solid bond, I'll use liquid glue. If I'm just attaching paper to paper, I will use a glue stick. You can use whatever tickles your fancy. I prefer Eileen's tacky glue because that is readily available where I am. You can use art glitter glue if you got that, or fabric tack, whatever. I just use Eileen's. And then as glue stick, I like to use Scotch 3M glue sticks because it works for paper and for fabric, of course, also cardstock. I'm going to start. I just want to put a few things on here. This will, let's just trim that one. I want it precisely the same. Yes, I'm out of the view again because this is at the bottom. So I just slice that off at the bottom. And then I want to also cut a piece from this side. Again, just lining it up with the grits on my cutting mat. You could use a paper trimmer if you got one. Those are the basics. Pair of scissors, glue stick, a craft knife, metal ruler, and if you can afford it, a paper trimmer. So just a few pieces, and I'm going to start gluing these down. Now, for now, it doesn't look like much, but eventually it will look a whole lot different, and you can see what the intention is of this. Now you can add these papers at random. I just want to put a top there, right, very edge, line it up. You can see we don't have lots of wiggle room when we use a glue stick. Now we've got different types of paper. I am going to cut some down as we go on. Greens. I just didn't take out any blue scraps, mainly because I don't have any blue scraps. But we've got a few blue circles, and that should make up for it. We're going to use a few dot stickers as well. Maybe stamping. Cannot say that we will. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. We will have a few white spots showing through. Just make sure it glues everywhere. At the stage, I have no real idea of what I'm putting where. You can see a different yellow. have worked off some of my scrapbooks already. This is basically on the same idea of collage fodder, and that's exactly what I used my other scraps for, was making collage fodder so that the scrapbox isn't overflowing. That's about the only blues that I've got was from the painted paper. I used it in a different project some time ago in the art journal. I just want to trim this more or less. This was just roughly hand cut, which was a class project. I hit it now a few times where this paper was, or rather the craft knife, was tearing my paper instead of cutting it. Getting a bit of blue and yellow. We will also trim that. Let's do the other side first. Just get this more or less straightened as I want the lines of these papers. Now this side I can maybe use this part, trim that there. Let's see. There would be good. I just need a bit more glue at the edges. There we have it. And a bit of this glue. Same thing, need to just trim it. I'm going to just move it up so that I cut away the least amount of this. We will keep all the offcuts in a little while. And this is straight, so it's easier to, and again, I want to cut away very little of it. And yes, because it's shorter than the, or not as wide as the ruler, it is a bit more tricky. So we've got that small piece. Maybe cut it there. And another piece. Oh, sorry for that absolute chaos in your ears. This one I want to try and cut another piece off about just over 1 centimeter strip. There we go. And now you can see how you can make the most of little bits of paper. Let's move it a little bit in to there. We've got one here that we can add. You don't have to stick with these colors, of course. You can do you. Always take the principle and do what feels right for you. Even if I try to make exactly the same thing, a duplication of it, I will not be able to get it done. So don't be too hard on yourself and think, yeah, but mine is looking like this. You should also. Nope. It is individual. Art is a really, truly individual thing. I will not be able to get this duplicated again, even if I try. Even if I had to do the two pieces right next to each other, would not work. We might not add a little bit more of those. I do want another piece of this though. They don't all have to be in the same direction. They can be in different orientations. Those will be thrown away. Let's get some yellow from this side. Now we use these very thin strips. And this I'm not going to even cut. I'm just going to fold it over and put my craft knife in and just slice it off there. We want this green maybe. And it's the strips that came from scrapbook paper. again, just folding it over and cutting that off. And I didn't put glue to the edge, so I'll quickly just lift up that and glue the piece down. Now we need a bit more interest. I still need a bit more yellow here. So let's do one of these strips that we have. And then I want to start adding circles. Do I want this one? Maybe there, maybe there. That can work. And we need a finger piece of that still somewhere here. Not too much of it, not too much. Just to have a repeat of that. All right. I'm just going to cut this tiny bit of polka-dot paper off there, and I'm going to add that just as a bit of interest and texture. Right, now to get some circles in here. Just a few circles would be nice. Now, I will first see what I have before I start punching. I might add a few more and even use the purple. Purple wouldn't really fit in here. These were previous masterbolts that I made. Kind of like that still. Like that. Little strips. Maybe use that also for circles if we have to. We might add this little one here as well. Just another little strip. Do we want it like that or like that? Maybe to the side. Just line it up. There we go. Now I'm going to look what I have already. That's punched up before I start punching more. We already have a green one. We have a yellow, not to say we will use all of that. We've got a blue one. We've got different size. Green, yellow, blue. Don't want to add orange at this point. There's a yellow with some texture. Smaller yellow ones, lime green. Smaller blue, polka dot, yellow one. You can literally now add whatever you want, what you have available. There's a tiny blue one, dark blue. Maybe we can break that. Let's see what else we have. And then, of course, we will be adding a few polka dot stickers here and there. There's another yellow polka dotty one. Lime green. So let's stick with what we've got already. Now, some of them I would need a few bigger circles. And for that, I'm going to use this paper. I want a very large one, which is 3.5. And guess what? It didn't cut it through, which is sad, but we can always trim that. Somebody is moving into my building, so they are moving furniture in the hallway. I don't know if they're moving in or out. I did not look yet, but I do know that they are making quite a bit of a noise. So there we have this one. Now, we've got another. I want to just take this off and see if we will be able to line this up to make wait, I just had it lined up. I cannot see whether it is now scented or not. No, it wasn't scented. Sad. Very sad. But we will use those anyway. I was hoping I could center it. Didn't work out. See, we all can have oopsies. And another one that needs to be trimmed. I find my circle punches to be very temperamental. When you punch out, the one day it seems to be perfect. The next time, it's not so perfect. Now, I'm going to maybe try and get another circle punch, which is my 2.5. And I know for a fact they chew the paper. So I would need maybe a piece of cardstock underneath. Just to make it a bit thicker. And then it's moving about. Let me just try and line this up. It's and then I moved it again. Just when I thought I had it. Let's hope for the best. That is a whole lot better. So we've got a white one, which I will turn into a tag at some point. And then here. Now you can see why circles. So we can have this go through. If you find that your punches are chewing your paper, just add another layer, like extra book pages or something, just to thicken it up a bit. And then you can punch it out. Dies would have been better because you can center it more effectively. It's now going onto my fingers as my fingers are sticky. already you can see that looks a whole lot better. I'm going to just snip those off so we can still use it even though it wasn't scented well. This time we will just line it up here. And yes, it's shorter there, not to worry about that. We will have that done in a second. Now this one really looks chewed, so as it didn't want to punch properly. And I'll just move to that little circle. You can add that there, and then we can just trim the rest. There is a bit there that is not covered, but that's not a train smash. Embrace the imperfections, that's art. I just want to move this a bit forward. A bit too much glue on there. Now adding the bits of circles on top is going to make this collage look a bit fuller and give it more interest. And there goes a jumping jack. And I dropped the glue yet again on my project. You've seen me done so many times already. Don't want to cover that completely. I want some of the glue sticking out. And then I just want to scrape this bit of glue off. We need some texture in here. A little bit of texture. Polka dots. Where are my polka dots? I know what to add some polka dots. There we go. Some yellow. Few blue ones. You know, I love adding circles to almost all my, there we go again, thankfully the ruler was there. You know, I like to add circles to all projects. And when I have scraps like these, I sit and I punch circles. Hence why I've got quite a few. There's another one with texture. We can add that. I love this color too. Also got a bit of texture. I've got half a blue one there, which is not completely half a one. It's just a piece that I had snipped off previously. You can add it anywhere you want. I'm going to add mine there and then just trim off that bit of texture there. Let's do this one, and you can add as many circles as you want. It can be dots, it can be, I think it's already quite sticky at this point. I think it's time for a baby wipe. We have a tiny yellow one here with polka dots, and I just want to get one or two from there. Hey, I've got a green one already in there, which is awesome. I see another one. Oh, it's a tiny one. And I've got some lime green. That is absolutely amazing. Not to say we will be using it all, but always a good thing to see what you already have in here. Maybe half a green one as well. And yes, this was punched from a scrap piece. Another polka dotty one. Oh, I think it's white if I leave it like that. Where do I want this one? Maybe there. Maybe not. It's too close to that one. Let's put it there. Polka dots are one of my favorite patterns. Absolutely love it. Maybe 1, 2, 3, so enough polka dots. Glue on, glue down, just checking that all the ones that I put on is actually glued down. I need a small yellowish one here. Ah, there we go, we've got it. Any other yellow ones with texture? Another polka dot. Alright. We need a blue one up here. Let's trim that one. Oh, there's a yellow one that I didn't glue down. And then, if you're unsure where to place more, you can always change the orientation of your display so that you can see what else is needed. That's where I'll stop with adding these circle shapes. The next will be some polka dot stickers. Let's go there. Back to the bin, the scrap bin for our next project. Now I just want to trim this one. It was a bit overhanging as it had that ridge to it. And then here we go. Some different polka dot stickers. That one we need to just here and there. We will add another few tinier ones as well. Let's go to some tiny blue ones. It doesn't have to be centered the whole time. You can add any amount. You can go to black. I want to do a bit of black stamping still. Not too much though, just a tiny bit. Just to add a bit more texture. You can decide when you have added enough. Nobody can tell you that you added too much or not. It's your art piece. It must just make a complete whole. I think I want a neon yellow as well. Let's get this out. And maybe one up here somewhere. And we will trim that one off. There we go. I think that is it. Just trim that little sticker up there. I just felt there's something that left it when I was changing the page over. There's a bit of overhang. This one. There we go. Now it's got nicer. A bit of black stamping in archival ink. The stamp set I think of using is a set that I bought on Amazon, but it wasn't the original. I'm just going to add a bit of stamping here and there. Packaging material so that I can stamp on this side. And maybe one that side, which is very close to that. So let's do it on there. And I will put a few bubbles on as well. A few bubbles on there. Right, the next one, always just clean it so that you don't accidentally add ink where you don't want ink. This one is like a bubble circle. You could do it with stencils if you have a proper stamp. I'm just using what I have on my table right now. I need a bigger one. This is probably not. Okay, never mind. I'll just use the stamp block. Oh, mind you, I always use packaging material to protect my surface, especially when I'm using archival ink. I'm going to take it off the block at this point so that I can just add parts to it. And I want a bit there. I love circles, you know that. I wonder if I will be able to realign that again. Shoot, that's better. And one here. And maybe in the middle. There we go. I just want to do one more here that didn't stamp too well. My pink is all black. All black now, the way that I'm holding the stamp. Let's do these two at the bottom. There we go. And maybe there as well. You can put as many stamp dots. You can even use a paint pen. And I think that is it. That's where I will stop with this. Maybe a few tiny ones up there. There we go. And maybe there. Now the big question, what will I do with this? This can be used as a masterboard. It can be used in an art journal in its entirety. You can also cut some of this out, as I said, a masterboard, and use it for that purpose, which means you will have parts of it then as tags or whatever your intention is. Bookmarks, all of that. If you want to make bookmarks, it will just work if you do it all on cardstock. Now this was done all with scrap pieces of paper, and gave me a bit of fun as well. So we made this with scraps today, except for the little stickers. I hope you had fun. And if you craft along, please let me know so that I know what you had done. I just want to add one last little sticker. I see there's a bit of blankness here in one spot. There we go. I think that will work. Maybe one there too. But you cannot stop. You just go on adding more and more and more. I hope you had fun today. Thanks for joining me. If you feel inspired, you go try this for yourself. Please tag Wallow Crafting on social media. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up. And as always, I'll appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel too. See you back soon. Goodbye.